think the next 3 to 5 years, I think that this could be, a much bigger company, 4x the size of what it is. It's impossible to predict Tesla in the near term. Long term, I think this goes higher.
So you're looking at a company, a high growth company that's barely growing.
Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So in today's video, I've got a treat for you guys and girls. I know you've been waiting for this, hanging on the edges of your seat. When are we going to hear from the class clown, the punching bag, the genius himself, Gordon Johnson? Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, it's your lucky day. Gordon Johnson sharing his thoughts on Tesla's blowout, record-breaking Q1 production and deliveries. So let's see what Gordon has to say. But first, hey guys, if you'd like to help out the channel and get up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening an account. And if you fund your account with $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,600. Unless you don't like free stocks, that is. And if you're in Australia, the UK or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
Good morning to you both. Gene, I'll start with you. What did you think of the delivery numbers and how does it now propel Tesla in this new year?
So Morgan, I know that the Tesla story is emotional, so I'm going to try to just stick right down the middle here, is that this is defining a growth story. A growth story is when you have accelerating growth rates, accelerating beats. The beat on this quarter was 11% better than what analysts had been expecting. And keep in mind, they delivered they produced 0 S and X's that typically is about 15 to 20,000. If you'd factor in that, they would have beat by 20%. That compares to the December quarter where they exceeded by 5%. So when you just think about accelerating tech growth, this is definitional. And the reason why I start there is these stories are rare to find. And usually the reason why these happen is that something bigger is going on. And I think that that is exactly what Tesla is tapping into. What we're seeing in the March quarter, I think, is just the beginning of multiple years. And just to finish the thought, and then I'll turn it over to Gordon for his response, but just to finish the thought is that there is this number also faced what is an anticipated tax credit for Teslas. Recall a year ago that Tesla's tax credit sunset. And so any, I think, rational Tesla buyer in the U.S. at least would have been holding off, and still they had these numbers.
Yeah, Gordon, I want to get your response not only to the delivery numbers, but to what Gene just said about defining a growth story. I have a feeling you're a little more skeptical about it.
Yeah, we think the fourth quarter, the year-over-year growth is irrelevant.
Sorry about the distortion there, guys. It might be a gift from the flying spaghetti monster, trying to save all those people that can't already tell that everything coming out of Gordon's mouth is a distortion of reality. Anyway, the point there, the ridiculousness there, trying to imply that the year-over-year growth doesn't matter, that it's irrelevant. Why is it irrelevant? Oh, that's right, because it doesn't fit your narrative. So here we are looking at Tesla's quarterly deliveries. Now, maybe I'm high. Actually, definitely I'm high, so I might just be hallucinating here, but it seems to me that this part of the graph over here is lower than this part of the graph over here, suggesting that there's actually growth in Tesla's vehicle deliveries. We're talking like a bit over 20,000 here. We're now talking almost 200,000 here. So approximately 10x increase in Tesla's delivery growth in the span of a few years. I can't wait to watch Gordon and his humiliation fetish attempt to explain to us now why we should completely disregard and ignore the clear, irrefutable, empirical evidence that Tesla is growing their deliveries. Gordon, over to you.
Look, we think the fourth quarter is what matters. What happened in the fourth quarter of last year is Tesla effectively had fully passed through the massive price cuts in China, and its Shanghai facility was fully ramped. When you also consider that they've effectively picked the low-hanging fruit of entering the world's largest 3 auto markets, U.S., China, Europe, and their sales grew just 2% quarter over quarter, despite 15 price cuts in the first quarter of this year, 18 price cuts total last year, and 52,500 more cars of capacity sold. They didn't have any chip problem. They produced more cars in this quarter than they did last quarter, and they grew just 2%, which still has a big problem. One other thing, keep in mind, they sold significantly less higher margin model S and X cars in the quarter and significantly more lower margin Model 3 and Y cars in the quarter, which we calculate is going to be roughly a $300 to $500 million hit to their bottom line. So you're looking at a company, a high growth company that's barely growing.
Did you guys catch that? According to Gordon, $67 price target Johnson, Tesla is, quote, barely growing. If ever you needed some evidence that Gordon doesn't actually believe what he's saying, surely that's it. It begs the question, why would anyone be willing to humiliate and embarrass themselves so much, so repeatedly and consistently in the mainstream finance media by saying such preposterous things over and over and over again? Maybe you guys can help me out in the comments with some speculation. Leave your best guess below. What are some of the potential reasons that somebody might go out into the media, such as Gordon Johnson, and say such obviously ridiculous stuff that they clearly can't possibly believe, in my opinion? Why would they do that? Now, let me hypothesize a little bit here. Maybe Gordon has a short position on Tesla stock. I doubt it, but it's possible. Maybe Gordon's a huge Tesla bull and he just wants to keep the stock price down so he can keep accumulating. Maybe somebody with a gigantic fund who's short Tesla decided to bankroll this whole sham research firm, allegedly, in my opinion, do your own research, blah, 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 to give the appearance of an independent entity when in fact there's actually a tether back to this huge fund who could be short Tesla stock again. Not making allegations, just hypothesizing at some possible scenarios. Maybe a legacy automotive manufacturer or even an oil company is bankrolling this clown to go out and tarnish the reputation of Tesla. Again, not making accusations here. I'm just trying to figure out, why would Gordon be doing this?
It's losing more money doing so, is gonna see all of its credit sales disappear next year. Look, these guys are valued at $700 billion. They sold 184,000 cars. VW sells about 2.5 million cars a quarter. They're valued at 162 billion. And Tesla grew sales just 2% sequentially. You don't know what people are talking about when they say this is transformational growth. 2% is not transformational when you cut your prices 15 times. You have 52,000 more cars of capacity.
Yeah, Gene, I mean, just to dig into that a little bit.
Did you guys see that? Let's watch again. I think Gordon just might have given himself up there with a little bit of reaction. Now again, this is just pure speculation here. I'm not inside Gordon's head. Watch his reaction and then I'll talk about what I think just went down. Gordon was laughing. He chuckled at his own point there. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe Gordon in his mind is thinking he's got him so good with this FUD. There's no coming back for that. It's just a very weird thing to see. I mean, honestly. And the fact that he couldn't even contain it anyway. I don't know. What do you guys think Gordon was thinking? Let me know in the comments below.
Dig into that a little bit more. You do have that sunsetting of tax credits, at least for now. We'll see what this proposed infrastructure plan actually brings to the table and manifests as reality. But the production numbers, do you expect those to ramp up? And when you do look at other emerging competitors like GM, are they going to cut into market share?
Morgan, if it's okay, I'd like to talk about the 2% comment.
Okay.
Can we back up one step there? It's true, it grew 2%. The challenge with that, my challenge with that logic is that it's a seasonally light quarter. Typically, auto sales in first quarter are down from December, so I think that is a clearly positive. And then I want to jump to the substance of your question around competition. Is that this is ultimately the biggest risk to Tesla, is that the traditional cast of characters, traditional OEMs get their act together. We talked about the electric Hummer. I'm a little bit skeptical that that's going to get any sort of mainstream traction.
I completely agree with Gene Munster here. The Hummer EV is a joke. It's a non-serious attempt. It is a niche product, a novelty vehicle. A typical Hummer buyer isn't a typical buyer of a typical vehicle. It's usually somebody with overwhelming, crippling insecurities trying to compensate for them by buying a gigantic, expensive vehicle. Not always, but usually the case. That's a non-serious attempt by GM. If they really wanted to make a dent in EVs, they would be transitioning their best-selling vehicles ASAP. GM at this point in time, they're not even putting their toe in the water. It might look like it, but come on. When you look at the volume the Hummer's going to sell compared to GM total vehicle, they're not even trying.
But that is the risk, and you will see Tesla's market share decline. It's 80% in the U.S. It's a much, much lower. They're losing share in Europe. I think that will reverse when they get the new factory there. But that is the question. I would just point to this piece around competition as investors contemplate the impact of competition. Tesla started out as a high-end brand, a wealthy person's brand, and they are successfully navigating that brand globally to an everyday person's EV brand. And the reason is that the value of the car exceeds the competition. If they can maintain that edge, I think that competition will, yes, they'll lose share, but they'll continue to have a measurable piece of a massive addressable market.
All right, so very quickly, Gene, stock's trading around 708 this morning. Where does it go from here?
I think the next 3 to 5 years, I think that this could be, a much bigger company, 4x the size of what it is. It's impossible to predict Tesla in the near term. Long term, I think this goes higher.
Whoa. Hold up. Did you guys catch that? Gene, reserved, reasonable, restrained Munster has just come out of the closet as a hyperbull on Tesla stock. No, really. He just said he could see it 4xing in the next 3 to 5 years, quadrupling in the next 3 to 5 years. Now, let's do some math here. What's 4 times 700? That's $2,800 per share in 3 to 5 years' time. Why does that sound familiar? Oh, that's right. ARK Invest base case $3,000 per share for Tesla stock in 2025. Gene Munster is now in the same league as ARK fucking Invest. I think that's a great place to wrap this video up. Just one final note. Gene will not be the last analyst to come out of the closet as a hyperbull on Tesla stock. Watch as things play out for the rest of this year. And don't forget, let me know in the comments below, who's paying Gordon? I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget, if you'd like to help out the channel and get up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening an account. And if you fund your account with $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,600. And if you're in Australia, the UK or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake also using the link in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.